Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Got another Destiny 2 video for you all today. This one's going to be focusing on Witch Queen raid prep, and it's just some, I would say, must-haves going into the raid. And just for you all, it's going to be on March 5th, if you weren't already aware. This is going to be the second reset on Saturday, and Witch Queen comes out on February 22nd. So you have two resets to get geared up. We don't know exactly what the gear score is going to be needed, the light level. I'm guessing it's going to be 1530. We'll see. They haven't announced it yet. And if you're at all, like, if you're thinking about doing day one, I would definitely do it if you have a group of people to do it. LFGing can be a little bit rough, but if you have like a good group that you usually play stuff with, doing that raid is going to be one of the best experiences you have just in gaming. It's really, really fun to learn encounters and kind of discover everything on your own, and that's a feeling you can really only get your first time through on a raid, and doing it day one is especially special because you're kind of learning it along with the community. So yeah, I'd say do it. Go for it. Now, getting into the gear itself, this one's been getting more attention lately, but I know when I did Vault of Glass on day one, when it was remade for D2, not a lot of people talked about blinding grenade launchers. Blinding grenade launchers are, quite honestly, just overpowered, maybe even broken. They blind almost everything except bosses and champions, but for example, in Vault of Glass, if you're doing gatekeepers and you're in like Venus or Mars, the blinding grenades would blind everything except that Minotaur. Oh no, even the Minotaur, because it's not overload. Yeah. So you can blind everything in the room. Even that wyvern that spawns, you shoot a blinding grenade, it doesn't shoot at you. It trivializes almost whole encounters. And a lot of people are like, oh, like the range isn't that big, because if you look at blinding grenade, the perk, it says greatly decreases blast radius, but you'll blind things that you don't do damage to. And just to show you real quickly, I'm in a lost sector here, so if I just get these guys to aggro on me and I shoot at this, like just right here, I didn't do damage to anyone, but he's not able to shoot me. That one isn't either. If I shoot this here and let it blow, didn't do damage to anyone. They can't shoot. You don't need to deal damage to blind enemies, and it's crazy. Just the range that blind has is insane. Let's just get out real quick. So, just off the top of my head, there's 3 grenade launchers that you can kind of get pretty easily. There's going to be Ignition Code, which you can get from Season the Splicer, and that's only going to be up till Witch Queen, and then it's going to be removed from the game. It's going to be vaulted along with the other seasons. And then I'm not 100% sure if this one drops still, because I haven't been doing strikes, but Empty Vessel can roll blinding grenades, and that's an energy one, so that's also a great pick. If it still drops. It might not. I'm not 100% sure. You guys be sure to let me know. That's just one I thought of real quickly. Let's just see here really quickly. Empty Vessel. Yeah, so you can get blinding grenades, and then for all of these grenade launchers, you're going to be wanting, I think the only like really needed perk is something that can reload the grenade launcher, so you don't have to reload it every time you shoot it, because they're single load. So I think something like auto loading holster is almost a requirement, and I would say then even you don't even have to worry about any of these perks in this tree. You just want blinding grenade launcher, auto loading, and you're set. Doesn't matter what anything else is. So then that empty vessel can roll blinding grenades and auto-loading, but it's one of those playlist weapons, so your perk pool is quite large, so the chances for that probably aren't that great. Ignition code doesn't have auto-loading, which turned me off to the weapon initially, but it does have slide shot. You can do a lot of cool things with slide shot. For example, just sliding and shooting. So you shoot, slide, shoot. You can really spam it, which isn't that optimal because you don't want to be wasting the grenades when enemies are already blinded. And I know there is a trick to shoot 3 grenades. You get like 2 reloaded from slide shot, but that's pretty micro intensive. It's a lot of inputs and a lot of like specific timings. But yeah, so slide shot ignition code is fantastic. It's just, it'll take a bit of time to get used to, because I know when I got the roll, I'd shoot and put away and swap to my other gun, and I'd come back, I'm like, oh, I gotta reload it. So just get in the habit, if you have a slide shot one, to just shoot and then slide. Just make it a habit, shoot, slide, shoot, slide. And then, new to the 30th anniversary is Pardon Our Dust, and that can also get blinding grenades and auto-loading. And this will be available even after Witchwind comes out. So say this is probably your best bet to get a blinding grenade launcher, and then it'll be a kinetic one. Because I don't know if Empty Vessel is dropping like really anywhere. I know Gunsmith sells it sometimes. Maybe Zerwell, and then that Empty Vessel. Wait, no. TRUTHTELLER. This might still be dropping, maybe not. TRUTHTELLER is sold by Gunsmith and maybe Zer. Because I know there was a God roll he sold earlier in the last year, for TRUTHTELLER. So I'd say easiest one to go for is Pardon Our Dust. If you really want like a special unique one, go for Ignition Code, because you only have like a month left to get it. And then this class of weapons got a buff. I don't think it was 30th anniversary. I think they got a buff with Season of the Lost. But scout rifles. Scout rifles are really good right now. And in day 1 events, they've always been really good. They're really safe, which is why for a long time they like nerfed the damage of them, because they were so strong and so in that like long distance. So you can just stay way far back, deal not the best damage, but it's just safe. But they buffed them, so now they do even more. So I think you definitely want a scout rifle going into the raid, just in case there's any long range scenarios, long range encounters. They're going to be a godsend. And there's a lot of good scout rifles to go for right now. The 2 that people are talking about a ton are Servant Leader, which is the Gambit playlist reward, so that will just drop after matches, and then Contingency Plan, which is just a world drop. So just opening Gunsmith engrams if you're emptying out your weapon parts, or Prime engrams could drop them. There's more too. There's weapons like Eternal BLAZON, but these 2 are automatically automatic. You don't have to click the trigger every time, which won't matter when Witchwind comes out, because they're going to have all semi-automatic weapons be able to be hold down the trigger to shoot, which is a really nice change, because it gets really annoying with scout rifles, especially when like they're this quick to tap the trigger every time. But yeah, so scouts gonna be tremendous. And then for these specifically, I want to talk about perks, and this is gonna go for other weapons too. Any primary ammo weapon you're gonna be using, because in harder difficulty encounters, perks are kind of valued differently, Because if you've ever played a Grandmaster, you know how tanky even like an Acolyte is, or a Thrall. And then if you do Master Vogue, you know those goblins take a beating just for being like a regular like trash ad. So perks like Rampage and Kill Clip, and Multi-Kill Clip, and Adrenaline Drunkie, and Swashbuckler, they're not going to be that great because you're going to be needing to chain kills over and over and over, and you might not be able to do that in their like time requirement. So then there's perks that don't need kill requirements that are super undervalued. I say one specifically is undervalued, and I'd say one's a little bit overvalued, but it's still, I'd say, better than the other perks for an experience like day one or harder level content just in general. That's gonna be One for All, which is the one I think is underrated, and then Frenzy, which I think is a little bit overrated. So let's just look really quick. Rampage at ×3 is going to be 33%. You see it's a duration of 3.5 seconds. So every 3.5 seconds you need to kill something, which can be kind of a tough hurdle to cross. Kill Clip, 33% damage just reloading after a kill. A little bit better than Rampage, I would say, for harder content, because it's one kill, you have that damage buff. You're gonna have to keep getting a kill and reloading to proc it, but again, a little bit better than Rampage. Multi-Kill Clip is gonna be 17% for one kill, 33 for two, so it's the same as Kill Clip in 2 kills, and then 3 kills, it goes to 50%, which is really good. But that's getting 3 kills in 1 magazine in a contest mode environment, which probably is a bit hard to do. And you're gonna have to be doing it in that 3.8 seconds, which is a tough call. Adrenaline Junkie, you're gonna be getting that 33% if you get 5 weapon kills or just 1 grenade kill, which that's not bad. A grenade will usually kill something, but you're only going to have that buff for 4.5 seconds. Not great. And the Swashbuckler is about the same, just for melees. The 2 perks I want to talk about, you have Harmony here, which I would say isn't the best for a primary. For specials, they can be pretty good, like a pull-out, use really quick, but we're not going to be covering that right now. The ones we're going to be covering are One for All, Frenzy. We'll start with One for All, because I've seen a lot of people say they don't like this perk, and it's like a pain to activate. Really isn't. It's going to be 35% bonus damage after just shooting 3 different targets within 3 seconds of each other. That's not hard to do at all, and you're going to be getting a bigger damage buff than the fully stacked Rampage, or Kill Clip, or Adrenaline Junkie. It's going to be higher than everything except 3 times Multi-Kill Clip. And shooting 3 enemies isn't hard. It really isn't. Let me just switch to One for All real quick. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now I have One for All for 10 seconds. Say boom. Alright, runs out. 1, 2, 3. Got One for All for another 10 seconds. 35% damage buff. A lot of people are scared off by that 3 separate targets thing, and it's really not hard to do. It's not killing 3, it's just tapping 3 enemies. One bullet, one bullet, one bullet, boom, and you have it. It's going to be super great for that day 1 raid, I think. Very, very valuable. And then also, Frenzy is going to be good because after 12 seconds, you're just gonna have it permanently for the rest of the encounter is the ideal scenario. But you have to be dealing damage or receiving damage every 5 seconds, which is the part of Frenzy that I have a problem with. There's a lot of times where you'll just be reloading behind cover, you're low and you need to take a second to like get back and heal, and then Frenzy will go away and you're like, oh, and it's going to take another 12 seconds to get that back up. And Frenzy's only going to be 15% increased damage. You're going to get reload speed and handling, which is nice, but I think the 15% damage is a little bit underwhelming. Again, it's just a little bit more than 1 stack of Rampage. So, just to give some comparison, or 2 times Adrenaline Junkie. It's nice. I definitely have that over, nothing, and that's what I have right now on my Servant Leader and Contingency plan. I haven't gotten 1 for all on those yet. I'm hoping to, though. But, as you can see here, take some hits. It's gonna be a bit, because it's 12 seconds. Which actually takes a long time. But now I have Frenzy. I reload quick. If you see, if I go here, and I don't get hit anymore, it's gone. Feels a bit longer in-game than what you actually, 5 seconds of combat is actually quite a bit of time. So it's not bad. It's really not, but I definitely value One for All much higher than Frenzy. And then another perk I've been appreciating a lot more in something like Master Vault of Glass is Shoot to Loot. Shoot to Loot is particularly great in Master Vogue because of those disruptors that drop that pool that if you step in it, you're like, oh, I have to go cleansed, or I get whatever the ritual the Templar does that just kills you. So you have to go in the middle and get cleansed. Those pools are going to be quite annoying in Master Vogue because most people are going to be spawn killing the goblins and stuff with like wither hordes or like turrets. So any ammo that any of those ads drop are usually going to be inside a disruptor's pool. So being able to just shoot the ammo is really valuable because you also want to be running out of your cover, having Templars shoot you and stuff. So Shoot to Loot is super valuable in encounters like that to just safely pick up ammo. So I would say for something like Servant Leader, Shoot to Loot, One for All, the God Roll. It's quite hard to hit with how many perks there are, but that would be my ideal roll. I would say just One for All itself is pretty good. I could live without Shoot to Loot, hopefully, unless the Witch Queen raid has stuff even more annoying than those disruptor pools. And then something like Contingency Plan, One for All, you can do Surplus, Outlaw, Subsistence, I would say are all good. Eternal Blazon can get One for All as well. Something like Rapid Hit, Overflow, they're all good. I think that's it. I just wanted to cover the scouts and grenade launchers for this. Maybe I'll talk about good exotics to have, like armor, weapons. But I feel blinding grenades are still being undervalued for how crazy strong they are and for how much they blind. They blind everything except chance and bosses. And scouts are just going to be so good for an encounter where everything is tougher and you're going to be wanting to stay back. They're just going to be a lifesaver. And yeah, I definitely want you all to try to day one if you can. I would say if you've been able to beat Master Vaults of Glass, you will be able to beat day one Witch Queen raid. Almost guaranteed. If you can figure out how to do the encounters and you can figure out, how the mechanics work, you won't have a problem with ads, because ads are weaker than they are in Master. Master is definitely a step up from the contest mode of day 1. And then I think even if you can do something like a Grandmaster Nightfall, you can do day 1 raid. So definitely try it. It's a fantastic experience. You won't regret it. Yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you all have a good one. Take it easy.